Dubai has become a golf destination.
Hello and welcome to this special episode of Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. For a change, we've got a bit of a golf bulletin going for you. There's plenty of action in emerging markets and at the Golf Business Forum here in Dubai, at the Dubai Creek. There's been plenty of talk about what could be the next big story. In that, certainly we've got emerging markets like India and China. First, a glimpse of the facts that can be pretty impactful. Have a look at these big facts on golf and then we'll bring you some big voices. On Tea Time, we bring you big voices from the Golf Forum Dubai talking about the rise of emerging markets, moving beyond posh golf to the game that masses will love.
The Olympics, including golf, kind of into their repertoire, it's now become a global game.
He assures that golf is seen as a common man-woman's game.
You can't ignore Asia right now. I mean, Vietnam is huge for us. China's big, India's big.
I think the government now needs to come on board. Now people need to realize that, look, this is not an elitist sport anymore. This is something which can bring a medal to the country.
I think we're all cautious to say things like the recession is over. But a more targeted and a smarter approach on the front end in terms of planning, feasibility, financing is really what's required.
In news, it's Manav Jaini crowned the champion at the All India Professional Golf Match Play held in Delhi. Well, first up, as we come to you from Dubai, we bring you some of the best visuals of the golf course that is Dubai Creek. Silver sun, sand, grass, perfectly pruned for the game. Well, that said, we're going to talk about golf course design on this show. And in many ways, some of the large players who've turned designers of courses themselves are looking at the whole brick story, the emerging market play. Even as we speak to you, a lovely aircraft all set to take off. Let's see if we can give you that amazing visual of a takeoff of a seaplane on the creek here in Dubai. Well, that said, I think it's going to take off right behind me as I speak to you. We're going to bring you the man behind Arnold Palmer Design and what he feels is changing the landscape.
I think the story of emerging markets is that the game is going to grow. And I think with the Olympics, including golf, kind of into their repertoire, it's now become a global game. I think if you look at the last major championship, it was an international field, and I think that trend is going to continue.
Arnold Palmer Design Company has been looking at plenty of courses across emerging markets. I know you've got one in India thus far, but what are the plans ahead?
Well, for India, we hope to re-enter that market and really develop some other great golf courses. We're also looking at courses in Vietnam. We have a lot of activity in China. We have a golf course that's going to open this year called Pure Scene. It's an unbelievable golf course on an incredible site, hence the name. We have a golf course under construction called Panda Valley in Chengdu and Daya Bay outside of Hong Kong, and another project in Xi'an. So we're very excited about our prospects in China as well.
What about in India? What are the expectations of Arnold Palmer Company in India?
I hope they're high. We would certainly love to come back to India. We're very proud of the DLF golf course. Obviously, it hosts a European Tour event. We're proud of that. That gets showed worldwide, and we want to continue to grow the brand of Arnold Palmer Design Company in India.
When you look at golf, and especially at the Golf Business Forum, what is the expectation in terms of a trend setter? In the coming years, what do you think is going to really bring money back to golf? Because the recession was hard.
The recession was hard, and I think it starts with the players, and I think it starts at the junior level, getting the young kids into the game and keeping them into the game. It's a wonderful sport, and it gets people outside, and I think the social aspects of the sport, being with your friends for 4 hours in what we would call a beautiful landscape called a golf course, is really an experience that everyone should have.
What is the kind of change that you're seeing in the whole design concept? Because, I suppose at various stages, golf has evolved thanks to the way the courses have evolved.
Yeah, for us in our company, we've really moved to kind of a core golf situation. When there is a residential component involved, it's a core residential component as well. So each piece begins to shine. But we're really into designing great golf courses in a big location, and really give them an incredible experience. And I think golf is just going to continue to grow.
Well, it's going to be a lot of action picking up in China as well. I had a chance to catch up with the man who belongs to the family behind the Mission Hills Golf Course. It actually has a slew of golf courses packed in together, and who knows that China could actually be the next set of big champions, even as ironic as it may sound, that they started golf only 26 years ago. I caught up with the man who's behind the game in China.
China's golf development is still very young in China. It's only 26 years of history. In Mission Hills, we have put golf in the China's golfing map to the world, and not only building the world's biggest facility, but more importantly, bringing in a whole new group of audience of golf lovers to the whole world of golf's development.
So Olympics and golf and China, how's it all shaping up?
Having golf returning back to the Olympic family certainly reassures that golf is seen as a common man-woman's game. And China has been a big supporter in all sports development. Just look at the last Olympics in 2008, having 50 gold medals, the most gold medal achieved in any country. So definitely China will be very much focusing on perhaps having the opportunity to place a medal within the next Olympics.
Who's your favorite player?
Well, there's so many great juniors that are up and coming and amateur players, and definitely our strongest player right now is Lan Wenchong, who is the top 60 in the world currently in the world ranking. So definitely we still have a ways to go, but nevertheless we're definitely on the right track for the golf's
Do you think
development.
business and golf come together as a great combination?
Oh, most certainly. I think golf is known to be a new business language and a business tool for China's golf development, and the reason a lot of entrepreneurs and businessmen love to make use of golf is you have a capture audience on the golf course for at least a minimum of 4 hours when you're playing 18 holes.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us about inviting Indians to come and play in China?
You know, India has a very strong development program for the professional players. They have made it on the world stage, and we have many great Indian players that have visited Mission Hills before. And I do look forward to inviting much more Indians and friends and Indian golf lovers to come and exchange and to experience different golf experiences in China and Mission Hills.
It's time for us to head into a short break here on Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. When we come back, we talk about the sunshine dollars, whether or not some of these places, which have awesome weather throughout the year, can make it to the cut when it comes to keeping up with good golfing business.
It's really about making the game, again, accessible, fun, enjoyable for a broad spectrum of players.
You can't ignore Asia right now. I mean, Vietnam is huge for us. China's big. India's big.
You're watching Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. It's time now for us to bring you the voice from the Ernie Els design company. Ernie Els has been trying to do plenty of business back in India, but how successful are they likely to be? And what exactly is on their agenda for the India story? Could the massive hype around various issues, including Olympics, actually be a tad overrated? What do people at the Golf Business Forum have to say about it? I had a chance to catch up with a man who's looking after Ernie Els and their interests here in Middle East and Asia.
Well, first and foremost, it's always good to come to these conferences, KPMG in particular, to just meet other peers in the industry, talk about who's doing what. The takeaway for all of us, I think, is it's time to get creative with golf course developments, golf course design, and a very proactive approach in terms of emerging markets, the obvious being India, China, Southeast Asia, Brazil, Russia, to help develop world-class facilities.
Do you think that at least the sentiment suggests that the whole talk around recession is finally over and people are now looking at stronger approach towards these hotspots?
I think smarter approach. I think we're all cautious to say things like the recession is over, but a more targeted and a smarter approach on the front end in terms of planning, feasibility, financing is really what's required.
Do you think that there is money that's to be made, at least given that, there was at some point talk about how golf as a business was slightly inflated when it was at the peak? There was far too much expansion far too soon. Is there financial common sense getting back?
Again, we have to in order to be smarter. There is money to be made, but I think we continue to develop. If we continue to develop rapidly, we could do so at our own peril if we really, truly don't grow the game. You hear a lot of discussion about growing the game, but initiatives to expand and broaden the base is really what's going to make it profitable for years to come. It's not just about amenitizing a sector of real estate or a hotel. We have to bring more players into the game, make it more accessible in order to truly make it a profit-making enterprise.
What do you feel about India, and what are the plans of Ernie Els design there?
Well, Ernie personally is very fond of India. He's played golf there several times, and we make several trips there throughout the year. We are putting resources on the ground full time in pursuit of our first signature project there. We're a small business. We're a boutique company. We only do 3 or 4 new projects a year. So, like we did here in Dubai, did a lot of legwork up front in terms of finding the right development partner, and that's where we are at now with India. But we know that there's a lot of our peers are busy developing fantastic new facilities in the country, and we hope to be there shortly as well.
Even as you say that, I think, like you were mentioning, it's time to be a little smarter and innovative with design itself. What do you think is changing about golf course design, and how does it look over the next 5 to 10 years?
If you've been here at the show, you've heard a lot of discussion today about maybe throwing out some of the old stereotypes of what a championship golf course needs to be or should be, and with the premium, on land, scarcity of resources, water quality, things like that. There's nothing that would suggest that a shorter golf course or a 9-hole facility or a 12-hole facility wouldn't be successful. It's really about making the game again accessible, fun, enjoyable for a broad spectrum of players. And so the old approach of having to have large parcels of land to build 7,400-yard championship golf courses that's an area where we've got to be creative in our approach. Yeah. So I think smaller courses, executive facilities, friendly to new players, specifically children, ladies who are just learning the game. That's what's required.
With all those voices, if there's anything you've missed, it's all in here. Take a look.
Well, I think what we're seeing this week is a lot of identifying a lot of emerging markets for golf right now. Also, we're realizing that even though the BRIC countries are strong right now and there's a lot of business going on there is also a lot of business in other parts of the world, which is encouraging to all of us here, because other parts of the world are places that we love to spend time, and it keeps our business enjoyable.
Right. Well, BRICS is one place that might actually bring in the money, though. Do you think that story is a bit overrated?
To a certain degree, I do. There's always the competition factor as well. So when you get a lot of designers, I was just at the China Golf Show, and I think there were 35 golf designers exhibiting at the China Golf Show. So I think you see a lot of concentrated areas where people are concentrating their efforts, and at some point it just becomes about finding the right projects in the right locations versus just hammering one place because that's where the money is.
Right.
You want to spread yourself around the world, and you want to keep your business workable from a standpoint where you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
That's right, de-risking it a bit. But in terms of the opportunity today, where do you see these opportunities? What is the growth rate that you're witnessing in golf in general? Because we did see the recession, and many of them are saying, even at the Golf Business Forum, caution is still quite the favorite word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You can't ignore Asia right now. Vietnam is huge for us. China's big. India's big. You can't ignore those markets. They are where the business is, and in participation in golf, China has got the most potential of anywhere in the world. Yeah. So as we see that middle class grow, we will see our business grow, and I think everybody feels confident about that.
How is your business doing in India? We do know that there are some courses by Greg Norman, but where are they headed from here?
Yeah, India's been slow growth for us. I think we've watched that market mature a little bit, and it continues to mature, and we've had good success there. But I think the coming years we will see a lot more growth because the developers are becoming more intelligent. The market's maturing, and we're starting to see some really good projects come out of the ground in India.
Is real estate the only way to go to try and club real estate in golf?
Well, from a financial standpoint, it's hard to ignore. There are situations where it makes a lot of sense to go in and build a golf course, a standalone golf course to promote the game. There's certainly a necessity for that in many areas, in many countries, but it's hard to ignore for a developer the opportunity to put real estate on his golf course.
What is your favorite golf course?
My favorite golf course in the world? Wow. I have a lot of favorites. I would have to say my number one favorite golf course would be Royal County Down in Ireland.
And who is your favorite player besides the Shark?
I'm a big fan of Adam Scott. He's a good player and a good friend, and always pull for him. And I also like his caddy, Tony. He's a good friend of mine.
Okay, let's slip into a short break here on Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra. We've got plenty more lined up. Stay right there. Golf Business Forum and your special show, Tea Time, is coming to you from the heart of Dubai at the Creek.
Today the world is finally waking up to India, however small that demand or interest may be. But I think it's good for us because it's we being recognized as a major player.
Well, how can a discussion about emerging markets be complete if it does not have India in it? I caught up with Akash Hori of DLF, who was right here at the Golf Business Forum making a big pitch about why India could be a great destination, provided you can add a dash of patience to your ability when it comes to golf and the country here.
For me, I think I'll talk India specific. I think to be recognized, to be called for forums like this is something good, because today the world is finally waking up to India, however small that demand or interest may be. But I think it's good for us because it's we being recognized as a major player in future, and I think given that respect, so I think good. And for us individually, is for to basically to interact with the best minds in the world,
Right.
To understand development, to understand the basic the key behind golf developments.
Do you think that some ways the story around India and China, particularly in the light of Olympics, it's slightly overrated?
Well, I don't think so, because I think people are now wanting India and China to come up, more specifically India. As you see, the buzz around is what's happening, why are you lagging behind, why aren't you people, taking these bigger strides like China does. So I think if you look at from the India story as well, we ourselves, being part of the industry, are kind of looking at the Olympics as a major peg to take this thing forward.
How would you do that?
I think the government now needs to come on board. Now people need to realize that, look, this is not an elitist sport anymore. This is something which can bring a medal to the country. This can bring as much pride as any other sport can. Sure. And I think since golf courses are very, very capital intensive, and there are a lot of legislations, there are a lot of regulations, I think now this should change, and we should work with the government to kind of get these things together. We'll be happy. I think the private sector will also make that step to kind of work with the government.
But just looking by the numbers that the Golf Business Forum has put out, nearly 45 to 50,000 rounds of golf get played in Middle East alone. I mean, we're not even scratching the surface back home in India.
Also, compared to the look at the infrastructure we have back home. Now, if you just look at the DLF Golf Club, I think we do about 40,000 rounds a year. So if you were to create that kind of infrastructure, only then can you invite people. People get attracted to it because we have everything else happening. In fact, if you look at the Golden Triangle, which is the most sought after tourist routing in the world, and if you could just have a little more effort being put in by the government or private players like us, I don't see a reason why we can't match that. And
what's holding them back?
Regulations. I think lobbies against golf. A lot of things. I think it's basic. It's this whole negative hype that golf unfortunately brings on the table. Sure. People don't see golf as a catalyst to business. They don't see golf as bringing in a lot of investments into the country, into the place. So everywhere in the world, wherever golf courses have gone, they have brought in huge amount of investments and employment.
What would be your one positive spin for someone who's looking to enter India today?
Well, for me, a lot of positives, to be honest with you. I mean, if somebody is looking into India, I'd say first, be a little patient. And second, I think India is the next big story for sure. Because as I was telling somebody in the morning also, that we have a lot of youngsters taking into the sport. So what you will see in the next 5 years is going to be a paradigm change in the Indians winning tournaments worldwide. So I think that's the talent that's coming in. So I'd say look at India positively. I'd say there's a lot of scope. I think all's good.
We at Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra, burn in the sun to bring you the best voices possible, from CEOs to pros to those who are in the business of golf. With all that action, it's a wrap on this show, but we'll keep you posted with every big development on the golf course. That's going to be on Tea Time next week. Do join me. And of course, in the meantime, remember to follow me on twitter.com/Shaili Chopra. Catch you again, same time next week.